Runner on third, one out. First pitch to Garcia with the infield in is lifted out towards deep left field. Going back on it is Horton towards the track, and that's going to one-hop the wall. Coming home to score is Devine, and Garcia pulls into second base and has an RBI double on the first pitch he sees in the game. 2-0 the count on Luke Devine. Runner on first, 2 out, bottom one, scoreless game. 2-0. Swinging a line drive out towards left field, and that drops in for a base hit. Horton fields it, and he throws to the cutoff over towards third, so Lutzo's going to have to hold up at second, but it's the second consecutive single for Santa Clara, and the Broncos with runners on first and second, and 2 out for the first baseman, Will Anderson. Here's the first pitch to him, and that one, a high fly ball lifted out towards right. Going back on it is Dunn, looking up at the wall. It's out of here! Luke Devine, a solo shot oppo over the Bronco B out in right. And Santa Clara double their lead. It's 2-0 Broncos in the bottom of the fourth. It's the 2-1 pitch. Swinging a line drive down the left field line in there. Fair ball, base hit. Lambert, a fast runner around first. He's digging for second as Horton goes into the corner to take that one out. Lambert around second base. The throw to third is not in time. And Lambert is in with a leadoff triple for Santa Clara to start off the bottom of the fourth. Anderson steps in. Hupert comes set. 1-2 pitch. Swinging a line drive out towards left field, over towards his right is Horton, and it's over his glove. Lutzo around third. He will score. Here comes Luke Devine. That'll put across 2, and Will Anderson on second base with a 2 RBI double give the Broncos a 2-0 lead in the bottom of the first. So Coach Filter going to let this thing calm down a little bit. Runner on second for the Waves, 2 out. Broncos started conference play at 3-12. They take 2 out of 3 at home from Portland, 2 out of 3 from the conference leaders Gonzaga on the road. Sweep at Seattle last weekend, and now they've taken 2 of the first 3 from Pepperdine in this series, and they need the sweep. Broncos in the lead, 3-2 over Pepperdine. Top 9, 2 out, runner on second. The count, a ball and 2 strikes on Finley Buckner. Rusty Filter heads back to the dugout. Broncos infield heads back to their places. Cooper Lands warming up the ball on the rosin bag. On the back of the mound as Buckner steps back in. Land steps on from the first base side. 1-2 the count. The pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3! From 3-12 to the conference tournament. Santa Clara sweep Pepperdine in the last series of the season and make what has been a miracle run here in May to clinch their trip to Scottsdale on Wednesday. Welcome back to Santa Clara. We go to the third inning. Broncos a 2-0 lead over Pepperdine with Max Bayless heading into his third inning of work already with 5 strikeouts on the day. It's the nine-hitter Joe Cardinale at the plate, and he takes the first pitch on the outside corner, a called strike, fastball at 90 miles an hour. And so the count, 0-1. Righty-righty matchup here between pitcher and batter as Bayless comes back set. And now the 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. That one a slider, 81 at the bottom of the zone. So Bayless quickly ahead, 0-2. For Cardinale at the plate, he does not play much for the Waves and does not have a hit since May 1st. It's the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a hard ground ball right at the shortstop, Ben Cleary, who scoops it up and throws across to first in time, 1 away. So Bayless starting to use his defense a little bit. His first 5 outs in the game all came by way of the K. And then to end the second, he got a pop out to Cleary at short and now a ground out to Cleary at short here to start the third. So we're back to the top of the order for the Pepperdine Waves. Daniel Patterson steps in. He struck out in his first at-bat today as Bayless sets, and now the first pitch. And that's low and in for ball 1. Nobody on, 1 out, top 3. It's 2-0 Santa Clara over Pepperdine. Bayless comes set. Now the 1-0. Breaking ball just high. It's the count 2-0. For Patterson, he has not struck out much this year, especially in conference. It's a 2-0 pitch. Goes low, ball 3. So Bayless, for the first time today, really falling behind a Pepperdine batter. He's already walked 1 so far as the 3-0 pitch is in there at the bottom of the zone. Called strike on the fastball. The count 3-1. Patterson this year has just struck out 6 times so far in conference in 84 plate appearances. So that strikeout in the first, just his 7th in this conference season, is the 3-1. Swinging a ground ball up the middle, bounces high off the pitcher's mound into center field for a base hit. And so Patterson, with a 1-out single, gives Pepperdine a base runner now in each of their first 3 innings to the plate. As Julian Nunez, the 2-hitter, comes to bat. He was the man to reach in the first for Pepperdine as he walked on an 11-pitch at bat against Bayless. Steps in here. Bayless comes set. Holds now the first pitch. Swinging a fly ball down the first base line. That hooks foul into the netting. And to the count, 0-1. Sun's starting to go down here at Stevens Shot. Shadows are about halfway across the infield, going in the left field direction. It's the 0-1 pitch. Way outside from Bayless in the fastball. The count, a ball and a strike. Ferragamo and Cleary now playing a little bit more in. They're each about 2 steps in front of the outfield at second and short to give the opportunity for that double play ball. The 1-1 pitch. In there, called strike on the outside corner, 92 on the fastball. And to the count, a ball and 2 strikes to Nunez. And that one, another one to a righty batter that maybe could have gone either way, but so far Ruben Candelaria behind the plate has been calling that a strike every single time. Runner on first, 1 out. 1-2 pitch. Swinging a double play ball to the second baseman, Ferragamo. He flips to Cleary at second for 1. Cleary on to first. In time, double play, side retired. Max Bayless puts Pepperdine down on 3 batters for the first time in the game. And we head to the bottom of the third. Broncos with a 2-0 lead over the Waves. You're listening to Santa Clara Bronco Baseball on 103.3 KSCU, Santa Clara. Hey everybody, welcome back to Stanford. We head to the top of the 4th inning. It's 1-0 Cardinal with the Broncos coming to the plate to face the new pitcher Colt Peterson, who replaces Sam Garwal after he went an inning and put the Broncos down 1-2-3 with the strikeout. I have a visitor with me in the booth as Ken Neese joins me as Santa Clara Bronco baseball alum as the first pitch to Peyton Lambert is down the middle for a called strike. It's the count 0-1. So Ken, why don't you just tell us a little bit about who you are? I know you played from 82 to 85. Your stats, your 85 season especially, were pretty impressive.
Oh, well, thank you very much. We're back here at Sunken Diamond because I have the great privilege of bringing my 2 grandchildren to the first baseball game, so they get to see where Grandpa played against Stanford. So it's been fun.
It's the 0-1 pitch in there, a called strike on the outside part of the plate. So the count 0-2 to Lambert.
Yeah, I'm pretty much a local boy. I played football and baseball at St. Ignatius up in San Francisco, and then was blessed with being able to play a little scholarship ball for Santa Clara, 82 through 85, and had my fair share of games against Stanford here at Sunken Diamond.
0-2, grounded towards third. Moran over to his right. Tough throw to first in time to get the speedy Lambert, and there's one away in the top of the 4th inning. So the Broncos now have put 10 to the plate. All 10 have been retired. Hopefully that can change so we don't have you for only 2 minutes. But you're talking about the diamond a little bit. Such a nice field here for Stanford. And then in Santa Clara, I know we have the new Stevens Shot now. What did you have back in the day to play on?
Well, what we played on was actually the old Buckshaw football field. And it was literally converted like you would see every season from a football when we had a football team.
Right.
Brent Jones was in the same class as us, so that tells you how many years ago it was that I was playing. But we basically had the football field converted to baseball for when we started the regular season.
Ben Cleary at the plate now. He takes the first pitch for the Broncos in there, a called strike, and the count 0-1. Nobody on, 1 out, top of the 4th. 1-0 Cardinal over Santa Clara. As here's the 0-1 pitch. And that one goes outside on the count, 1-1. So you've been to the new Santa Clara Stadium, of course. You were telling me you get to go back for the alumni games. Do they ever have you guys play in any kind of game for Santa Clara, anything like that?
They actually tried to do that, but me playing 40 years ago, I think I'd fall over even getting on the field. But in the old days, yes, we'd go out and put a decent squad on the field. What I don't think a lot of people understand is there's a lot of ball players that came out of Santa Clara over the years that made it to the bigs. And, I was privileged to play with a couple of them my years. So Mike McFarland being the one that stands out the most. But we had a lot of fun, Mike and I, playing a lot of games. Like I kept saying against Stanford, we were in a different league than even what Santa Clara plays in now. So we played against some pretty good teams, but not like what they're playing nowadays.
So Cleary fouled off the 1-1. Now it's 1-2. 1 out, nobody on. Here's the 1-2 pitch. And that one down the middle, a called strike 3. Ben Cleary goes down looking for the second out in the top of the 4th. So now it's the 3-hitter, Max Ross, the designated hitter. Lefty come to the plate. We'll see if he can be the first Bronco to get on base. So, Ken, I might not have you for too much longer. I got to ask you about those preseason games you guys got to play against the Giants. The Broncos won a couple of those back in the day, right?
We did. We had the privilege of splitting with Stanford every other year. The Giants had come to either Sunken Diamond and play the Cardinal or come and play with us at Santa Clara. And I got to play against them twice. My wife is making me say this, but when Vita Blue was making a comeback, I was one of the only Broncos to get a hit off of him at Buckshot Stadium. So that was a lot of fun.
Wow. So a pitch clock violation against the pitcher, Cole Peterson's. The count 1-0 to Ross before a pitch is even thrown. Now the 1-0 pitch, and that sails up and away for ball 2. So I got to ask you maybe some of your favorite moments that I assume that has to be up there for you from playing with Santa Clara.
Yeah, playing against the Giants, getting hit off Vita was a lot of fun. I got to tell you, playing here in 1985 against Stanford, who went into the regionals, they were a highly ranked team with some really, really good players. McDowell, Lundblade, a bunch of guys that ended up making it into the big leagues. I think we actually split a 4-game series over the season with Stanford that year. So we kind of felt like we had them. We weren't scared of them. We weren't intimidated of them. So had some great games here, 4 for 4 in a game that McDowell started. So,
wow.
I didn't sleep that night.
All right. The 2-0 is outside to Ross for ball 3, and then a fastball down the middle makes it 3-1. The 3-1 pitch here lifted out towards deep center field. Going back on it is McDonald, and he'll backpedal comfortably to make the catch to retire the side. Well, Ken, thanks for joining me. Ken Neese, everybody. How awesome this was to have you.
Thank you.
Go enjoy the rest of the game with your family. Thanks for joining me.
Congratulations to you on your senior year. Good luck.
I appreciate it.
All
Thank you. All right, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. We head to the bottom of the 4th inning. It's 1-0 Stanford over Santa Clara. You're listening to Santa Clara Bronco Baseball on 103.3 KSCU Santa Clara.